B-boy.
Welcome to Nocturnal. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Sophie.
Nocturnal is a show that will take you through the sights and sounds of Sydney's ever-changing music and art scene.
Ingrid and I are part of a group of people who go out to events around Sydney with a microphone and with a camera and interview people. The sort of events we go to range from exhibitions to gigs to doofs out in the middle of the bush. It's heaps of fun. On this week's show, we're going to be checking out Peacebeats at the Bondi Pavillion. We're going to be checking out International Karate at the Hopetoun Hotel. So we've got news, reviews, interviews, box pops. It's going to be a blast.
That's very, very true, Soph. But tonight, firstly on tonight's show, we'll be taking you to the event that actually brought us here, which was the Slice Television Fundraiser held at the Metro. This event was wonderful because it really shows the cultural diversity of Sydney's performers, Bollywood dancers, Armenian singers, etc. Check it out, guys. It's excellent.
Hi, this is Sophie and you're on Nocturnal. We're at Slice TV's fundraiser at the Metro.
I hope you saw the flyers of this, which I think use the word eclectic absolutely genuinely. We have the most extraordinary number of things on tonight.
Coming along and supporting, fantastic multicultural events like the one we got on here tonight, which is just great with, great band like Jasnal Ram and the Bollywood dancers and Armenian opera singers and ballroom dancers and drag shows, DJs and, a fantastic mix of stuff which I think is pretty indicative of the great stuff we'll see on community TV.
185 people through the door for community TV tonight. And what's the crowd been like?
The crowd's been great. We've had heaps of people, lots of friends, and we've made some money, which is great.
Natalie, hi.
Hi.
Natalie, you just performed an extraordinary opera piece for us. Can you tell us a bit about what you performed?
I performed 4 songs in 4 different languages. I performed one in German, Italian, Armenian and in English, so people understand that one, I think. And Slice just called me up. I've been on Channel 31 before. I did a lot of functions for that. And so they called me around and I said for sure I'd sing for them.
Your band's influences, please.
New Orleans funk, that groove is just makes you, just like bonk. Bonk, 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 bonk. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Fat beats. Yeah, rock on community TV.
Why is community TV important?
It's terribly important. People are crying. People are coming to me all the time and saying, when are they going back on air? We love Channel 31.
And so we're here to put it back on air, yeah?
Oh, please, God. I hope the sooner the better.
And now we're on air. What do you think the community's missed?
Not on air yet.
But we are. When this is being shown, we are on air.
Oh, okay.
So we're on air.
Okay.
What's it like to be back or almost back?
Absolutely brilliant.
Slice TV and the new TVS will be representing such a broad cross-section of communities across the whole of Sydney.
What would you say to everyone who's watching community TV for the first time since Channel 31 went off air?
Let's celebrate it.
Named after a Commodore 64 game, instrumental Melbourne rock band International Karate deliver music that's dark, poetic and beautiful, influenced as much by electronic movie soundtracks as guitar rock bands. They only come to Sydney about once a year, and we caught up with them at the Hoey in early 2005.
Hey, I'm Polly. I play guitar, international karate. Look at this right here.
My name's Callan. I play guitar and keyboards.
Hi, I'm Mark and I play bass guitar.
My name's Aaron. I play drums in international karate.
There was no vocalist, but we had a bunch of songs together, I guess. And we played a few gigs, and people were sort of into it without the vocals. Like, we weren't sure if it needed vocals or not. We were sort of playing on the idea of maybe asking a couple of friends that could sing that maybe possibly want to join the band, but it never eventuated. But
I don't know about yourself or what other people think, but oftentimes, you know, the most emotive music or the most sort of emotionally engaging music is instrumental music, be it rock and roll or other stuff. It doesn't really matter. You know, when we're using vocals now, or even in the past, it's like they've really been the sort of centerpiece of the song.
There seems to be quite a lot of venues to play in Melbourne and a lot of support for it, which is a good thing. So maybe that's more encouraging. I don't know. That could be an explanation. But no, I don't know. There's plenty of good bands from Melbourne, that's for sure. Maybe that's got something to do with it. There's so many venues to play. There's so many bands to see. Plus, it's always been an out. Like, we've always been a fan of heavier stuff anyway as well, so it's certainly natural to let that come into it a bit more as well, because it's definitely something that's influenced us over the years. It's just a natural progression more than anything else.
Oh, you've used the bloody natural progression. Don't say natural progression. No.
I didn't say that.
It's in press releases like it's a natural progression from the previous album.
Well, it's true.
No, I just, you know something, I hate that term. It's like when people say they're sophomore albums because they can't saying their second album. Makes them look wordy. Oh, I hate it.
We're not the richest band in the world, and we get things when we can.
especially after tonight's gig. The head's just snapped off, man.
He's a bit upset still. Like,
I looked up and my head was snapped, and I sort of, for about 15 seconds, cracked and threw my guitar down. It wasn't like, it was rather upsetting, because that was my only decent guitar, but hey.
That was Dylan interviewing Melbourne band International Karate.
Now next it's really exciting. We get to see the king of Australian drum and bass, and Sophie, you got to check him out and interview him. Lucky girl. Tell us about the interview.
Well, it was really cool. Greg Packer was playing at the Marrickville Bowling Club. Ben and Shuey, who are two guys who put on drum and bass events around town, held a night with him and with Pendulum. They're both from Perth. They're both really cool guys and they play great music. It was an awesome night. And let's see what Greg Packer has to say about himself. We're at Moving Through Air and we're with Greg Packer, who's playing tonight at the Marrickville Bowling Club. Hey Greg, how are you feeling?
Good, yeah, surviving.
Excellent. You've just come from Perth, you've played there with Pendulum.
Yeah, we did the Pendulum Greg Packer gig last night and yeah, it was madness. About 700 people going off, about 2 hours sleep. I'm still standing, just about.
Just about standing.
I'm just about to go and do it all again actually. In about 20 minutes.
You've been described as Australia's ambassador for drum and bass. What do you think of that?
Ooh, that's nice to know. Actually, that's nice to know. Yeah, it really is. I mean, like lots of people, including the Moving for Air guys, originated from Perth, and I kind of got them into drum and bass, and then they moved here and then started up moving through over here. And it's great that they can now turn around and bring me over, I guess, and sort of say, well, you know, it's their way of sort of saying, well, you know, you got us into it, so now we're going to, you know, get you involved in what's happening in Sydney, which is really good.
Bit of reciprocity. And also you started the 90s DJing, is that right? With a bit of breaks and a bit of hip hop.
Yeah. Well, my first ever gig in a nightclub was in 1990, so we're talking 14 years ago now.
Right.
And it kind of, I was just coming out of hip hop. In the 80s I grew up with hip hop, so I was kind of coming out of that, getting into like the early breakbeat house sort of stuff, and that's kind of what I started playing when I was DJing. And then as the years kind of progressed, before I knew it, they were calling it jungle and breakbeat and drum and bass, and so it was never kind of like, oh, I heard drum and bass and oh, I want to get into that, that's really cool, you know. It's sort of like I was just playing kind of breakbeat driven music, and then by probably 93, 94 they decided to start calling it jungle, and then a few years later they called it drum and bass.
And so you started off in Perth, and now you're based in London, and you tour from London, do you? Or
well, no, I wouldn't. So I have been based there in the last 4 months, but I didn't relocate there. I just kind of went there and just thought I'll stay here for a few months and do, you know, some gigs and operate from London, which was great because I did gigs all around England and all around Europe and stuff. And now, because my recording studio is in Perth, I think like I've come back to Perth now to get in the studio, make a whole bunch more tracks, and while I'm here also do tours around the country, like Sydney for example, and you know, Brisbane, Melbourne, whatever.
And tell us about your you've started up a production company or a label.
A
label. Tell us about your label.
Interview Records. I started it actually 2 years ago, very, very underground and low key. I did a couple of CDs, which was sort of my first attempts at production, which I'm a little bit embarrassed about now because, it's all experience.
So you're hoping to sign maybe some Australian-based drum and bass producers?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to be able to sign it. I mean, we've got about, I think, there's myself, there's Pendulum, there's some guys in Adelaide called Skyver and Dijon. There's a guy in Melbourne called Motive. There's guys from Sydney, vice versa, and they're all been getting releases on UK drum and bass labels. So it'd be good to sort of round up some of those guys and get them involved in my label as well, because you know, Australian drum and bass producers on an Australian drum and bass label kind of makes sense. So hopefully, you know, if you guys are listening or watching,
they're watching. Send them to Greg Packer, Interface. He wants your creativity.
Sort me out. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for chatting, Greg.
No problem.
Cool. See ya.
Cool. See ya.
Hey Nocturnal people, we're at Harvard Square in Boston, and we're going to ask people what they know about or what they think about Australian music. It should be fun. Come with me. What do you know about Australian music?
Not that much, but much as I know is about AC/DC. That's about it.
What do you know about Australian music?
Not a whole lot.
You got any? You know any bands or anything? Or
no, I know a small amount about New Zealand music, but.
Oh yeah, who are your favourite Kiwi acts then?
Oh man, I don't even remember the names. I had some friends from New Zealand. They talked about a lot of their friends' bands and stuff. So.
Who are your favourite Australian bands?
I would say Powderfinger, Tism. Tism my favourite, and AC/DC, and never the Bee Gees.
Yeah. But wait a sec. Didn't you like live in Australia for a few years?
Oh yeah, Dylan, I did. That's right too. You got me.
And there you have it. We've been like walking around here at Harvard for like half an hour. No one wants to talk to us. I don't know why. Maybe they think we're like terrorists or something. So there you have it. We got like 2 responses. So the overall answer is like people don't want to talk to strange, weird-looking Aussie camera people in the streets. And there you have it.
Hey, Ingy, what do you know about American music?
America what?
Where? Anyway, Peacebeats, what is it?
Peacebeats was a really beneficial gig held at the Bondi Pavillion to raise money for the tsunami victims. It was a really beautiful evening, set at sunset. Kid Kenobi played a sunset and Deepchild was there. Scott and I filmed the night. It was a load of fun.
If you guys like the idea of filming nights, or if you like the idea of us coming along to your gigs and filming you guys, please get in touch with us. Please go to our website, check out our contact details, see what we're all about. We'd love to come along.
So here we go, Peacebeats at the Bondi Pavillion. Woo.
Hi guys, any idea for what you can do on a lazy Sunday afternoon? I've got 3 words for you. First of all, it's got a bit to do with being underwater. Second of all, it's got a lot to do with love. Third of all, it's a carnival. I'll tell you more when you come back. That's right guys, happening inside the Bondi Pavilion right now is Peacebeats, put on by Greenpeace. Proceeds go to Greenpeace and the Tsunami Relief Fund.
Very important night tonight, supported by Kid Kenobi, Will Styles and of course Deepchild.
Yep, so let's head inside. I'm here with Sut, one of the organisers of Peacebeats. So just tell us a rundown of what this gig's actually all about.
Okay, well it started about 4 years ago when the bombing started in Afghanistan, and I just sort of couldn't believe what was happening. So came out with this crazy idea to have a drum call for world peace and try to basically have the whole of those stairs over there covered with African drummers and drummers from various parts of the world who all live in Sydney. And anyway, Waverley Council, we're not going to let it happen, so we kind of toyed with different ideas, eventually did it inside, and basically Peacebeats was born out of that idea. And just really it was an idea of, you know, raising money, raising awareness, and raising much needed funds for obviously people like Greenpeace to carry out their work they do in protecting the environment. So yeah, it was a real stance against the war, but trying to turn something into something positive. And bringing together people through music was obviously one of the keys to that. So yeah, that's how it began. Made contact with a lady called Paula, who's like absolute dynamic. I've never met anyone who can organise so many things at once. And yeah, we sort of touched and, you know, connected and basically drove it, I guess, for the first few years. And now we've got this great team of people who all come together from different areas to do different parts of the event. And yeah, you know, with people like sponsors such as Lush, you know, Flatmate.com, they've been supporting us for a few years now, and it just enables us to, you know, raise money to put the event on, cover costs, and then all profits we donate to Greenpeace. In the past, that's not to say it would always be Greenpeace. The idea of it is that we can change, you know, beneficiaries as we see fit, and so we may, you know, next year do something for a different charity. But yeah, the idea of it is all the money, everyone donates their time, so DJs, live acts, drummers, performers, organisers, like we don't make any money out of this. It's not like we're going to pay ourselves a fat profit and then give some to Greenpeace. Everything goes to Greenpeace. So.
How many years have you been doing it for?
This is the 4th event.
And may I ask, how much have you raised over those 4 years for this?
I've donated $20,000 to Greenpeace over the last sort of 3 events. So
wow.
Hopefully we can notch that up close to 30 after this one.
Now, the fact that tonight's proceedings are all going to Greenpeace, is that what brought you here, or the music?
Yeah, definitely, because supporting Greenpeace, and also friends run the actual event, so here supporting them as well.
Oh, good on you. And what are you thinking of it so far?
It's great, it's great. I think everybody should come along next year.
There you go. The fact that tonight's proceedings are all going to Greenpeace, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's a pretty good cause. There's There's like hundreds of little things that everyone can do, every day to change, their lifestyle and the way the world runs. And it's, I guess this is sort of a catalyst for that kind of thing. If people know about it, then maybe they'll do it,
That was Peacebeats, one of the many tsunami fundraisers held in this city over the last year.
Yeah, and talking about many tsunami fundraisers, on next week's episode we're going to All Together Now, which was a beneficial event helping raise money again for the tsunami victims.
But it wasn't just any normal tsunami fundraiser. It was a tsunami fundraiser where the lead singer of one of the bands that performed was arrested on stage while singing.
Weird.
It's a bit of a
Very
teaser. So tune in next week.
And also, as we mentioned earlier on in the show, please check out the website for any of those interested in giving us segments on your parties or wanting us to come out to your events so we can profile them for you.
Definitely. Now, to close the show, we've got some strange footage. One of the members of our little collective had the strange idea of getting up in daylight hours and seeing what happened. We normally only live at night. Very keen. Some unfortunate results. Have a look.
Good night, everyone.
Hi, this is Alex, live in Sydney Park. We're about to see something pretty special today. The reinvention of jousting, the greatest sport in the history of mankind.
Prepare to joust.
I challenge him.
And this is what they're fighting for. The prize of prizes. Fish.
That flounder shall be mine.
Oh Christ, maybe we're not in the greatest spot ever.
Oh! Hey! Oh! Track, I switch on the halogen here and it will give me the extra boost I need. This armor was passed down from my great grandfather. It was in the Japanese war. Not that I'm Japanese.
Oh!
Oh! Speed!
This is the halftime joust sum up. A few bruised egos, a few hurt people, but things are looking pretty good for some more violent, bloody, gory action to come. It's all gonna end.